Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm back with another message you need to hear right now. Let's hop right into it and find out what message your angels have for you today. From the jump, I am hearing that there is a lot of people freaking out because they lost access to your energy. Yes, a lot of you have done so much work on yourself in the physical world, going no contact and ignoring people's BS, but what you're actually getting rewarded for is also the work you've done on yourself spiritually. I do feel like there are people that had cords attached to you that you successfully cut and released. And not only that, you guys are just not letting certain things bother you anymore. You definitely are doing such a great job improving yourself, and you need to know that. But another thing you need to be aware of is that there are certain people from the past upset at the fact that they don't have access to you anymore, you don't pay attention to them anymore, and they may be saying or doing things to try to get your attention. Not only that, I do feel like you could feel waves of people's energy, whether it be sadness or depression, because a lot of these people are so unhealed. And now that you're actually detached from them, you could sense their energy coming in or when they're thinking about you more than ever, because you're in such a different headspace than where you were when you were dealing with this person. And I think it's interesting, a lot of you guys, if not all of you, have this ability to sense people's energies and sense them when they're coming in. And when you are caught up in a situation with someone, whether you are dating with them or living with them, sometimes you are so used to that energy that's weighing you down that you don't realize how bad or toxic it is for you. And so when you're out of that situation and healed a little bit, when that energy tries to come back in, it really starts to bother you or irritate you. So what I'm sensing is that if some of you guys are kind of in a weird energy right now, it's that you elevated so quickly and so fast that people that may have been in your recent past are starting to irritate you or bother you spiritually. I also feel like you are going through another awakening where you are being prepared to take those next steps in terms of your life. Again, my readings are timeless, but we are at the end of the year here. And again, if you do get to this reading in the beginning of the year or the mid-year, it doesn't matter. This message could still be true, but especially for if you got here now, you're just trying to prepare yourself to be the best version of you. Again, I feel like it doesn't really matter what time of year you guys get to this, because what I'm hearing is that you guys are constantly improving yourself as if it's always the new year. It doesn't matter what season you guys are in. You never make excuses. You always just decide to get started on the things that you feel called to do. And I do feel a lot of you were called to a rest period, maybe the last couple of months, weeks, or even years. So don't be so hard on yourself if you didn't accomplish everything that you felt like you would this year or in your lifetime, because you have so much more time to go, is what I'm hearing as well. Another reason I say that is because so many of you guys have fought so many spiritual battles that you don't really commend yourself for all these battles that you have overcome and won. And I do feel like it has especially been a year or a month for some of you guys, or whenever you get to this message, I feel like it's significant to whenever you're hearing this right now. But it's been a whole long time of you guys overcoming so much that you are not really seeing how well you're doing. And again, because you have healed so much, there's just going to be certain people's energies from the past that are really going to make you feel like you're not doing a good job. So my message for you guys today is that just keep going. I actually pulled this card here and it says, like, what saves a man is to take a step, then another step. And I feel like this is so significant because sometimes we're in places in our life where we're so tired, we're so exhausted, and we literally feel like we can't go on. And then we just learn to just, take that one step and then another step. And then before you know it, you are out of that situation. And again, I do feel for a lot of you, you could be feeling especially low or drained. And what I am reminding you guys, it is not that you are failing or you're not doing the work. It's that you're tired, you're exhausted, and you're feeling other people not taking those steps and not doing the work and being sad and depressed that they lost access to you. So I am also sensing that a lot of you guys may actually receive messages from people from the past, and this is not to make you guys upset or bother you, to show you how much you've grown, but you're going to notice when these people think about you or when they reach out to you, how much their energy really throws you. And I also feel that not only that, you're going to notice how quickly you bounce back and acknowledge what's going on, especially for those that have dealt with certain people where they want to get a reaction from you or they want to drag you down a notch. But sometimes you're going to feel a little bit more irritated in that moment because you're feeling that person's energy, and it's making you aware that they're even more angry that they can't get what they want out of you. And another thing I'm hearing is that so many guys have healed so much that you really had to tell yourself that you're doing a great job, that you're a great person, because you never got that validation from certain people that didn't want you to view yourself in such a high light. And a lot of you have had people try to humble you, but there's always a part of you that could be a little bit wounded and hurt because the things that people have said to you or done to you have gotten to you. But I do sense that you guys never really want to let those people know that. So again, some of your enemies are past people in your life or people that have hurt you. They're not really aware of the fact that you could be still hurt or offended or still healing from some of the things that they've done to you. All they see is your elevation and your shine. So they could be not too happy with the fact that things are working out for you. But again, behind the scenes, you guys are doing the work. And it's not that the things that people have done to you doesn't offend you or hurt you. It's that you guys realize the only way to get through certain things is to take everything step by step. So yeah, the main message was really that there are people from the past that are actually freaking out because they have lost access to your energy. And it goes a lot deeper than that. If you guys are new here, welcome. But I always say this, you guys are my light workers, you are my healers, chosen ones, whatever it is you guys want to identify as. And I'm not saying this to make you guys feel like, you know, you're more special than anybody else. It's not about that. It's just more the fact that you experience the world in a very different way than a lot of people, and your energy is very different than a lot of people. And the world can be very scary when you have these gifts, you have this sensitivity, and people around you are coming at you left, right, and center, and you don't know how to handle it. And that's why I'm here to kind of help you guys through that. But again, if you're new here or if you've been here for a while, I like to always remind you guys, your energy is like drugs to people. So when they don't have access to any bit of your energy, whether it's good or bad, your negative attention, you want to fight with them, they start to get nervous or anxious. And on top of that, there are certain people that can't live with themselves because they have come to the realization that you don't even want them as your enemy because you really don't care they exist anymore. Just based upon the fact that you had to teach yourself to eliminate that person from your reality because all you want to do is find peace. And that's what I'm sensing. Like, you guys are on the road to peace, and that's always going to bother and irritate people that want to go out of their way to steal that peace from you or that energy from you. And you guys have always gone out of your way to provide that peace in people's lives when they step into your home or step into your spaces or your environment. So it's kind of sad that these people want to ruin something that you've also provided for them just because maybe they don't have access to it anymore. Or for some of you guys, you know, people just sabotage their relationships with you and you decided to walk away. But the point I'm trying to say is that, like, people really do ride off of your guys' energy and feel and sense your energy so strongly. So when they start losing access to it, it really does make them feel drained and worn out and not like themselves. And again, a lot of you have had experiences with people, especially slightly narcissistic or unhealed, whatever you want to call it, right? That have come into your life, kind of stole a bit of your energy and got some success from doing so, and then rode off of that, but then treated you badly after the fact. And when that energy runs out, like, they don't know what to do with themselves because not only have they created a bad relationship and bad karma with you, but now God, their angels, your angels, whoever is not too happy with them as well, right? And I also sense that some people are just so delusional that they don't even realize that some of those blessings that they have received in the course of their time spent with you are things that you prayed for them to have or you assisted them in having. So yes, the physical things that you guys have done for people miss and lose, and they're upset they lost access to that. And I know you guys can go on and on about that for days, but what some of you guys are failing to realize, it's your spiritual energy that people are so upset and bothered they lost access to you. And it takes more than no contact sometimes to remove these energies from your life. Like, a lot of you guys have seriously gone into some inner work and isolation and prayer and fasting or whatever it is. I do see some radical life shifts that has happened in the collective, and I do believe that has manifested very different for a lot of you guys. Some of you guys who are a little bit more aware, like, you actually consciously are like, I can't deal with these energies anymore. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to do everything in my power to calm my power back, and you've been working on it, and it hasn't always been an easy journey. But then there's some of you guys in the collective that are my more, like, I always say there's like my spiritually aware people that are probably doing spiritual work or really in their gifts, but then there's also my world's working people. I don't know how to describe it. Like, there's people that are a little bit more in the world, and you guys are not as much as tapped in spiritually in that way, but you're still tapped in. And sometimes God and your angels put you guys through these transformations, like, without you knowing it, just so that you guys can get this energy out of your system. And that's why sometimes those manifest as you guys may be having to slow down or maybe even getting sick and stuff and having to do certain things to relax your body and heal. And it kind of leads you guys to certain solutions on how to cleanse your energy. Like, I'll give you guys an example. Some of you guys may have been worn down and booked a vacation, but then you started like swimming in the ocean and like you didn't have service. Like, certain things like that happen so that you guys can isolate yourself and get your energy right and really detach those cords. But I do sense whether it's like conscious or unconscious, like, it's a collective shift that's happening with all of us here, where there is some kind of radical change that you have been through in your life that is helping you detach from all the past energy so that you can clean slate moving forward and be the best version of yourself on your best timeline without any of these energies trying to still latch onto you. And I always say this, but it's like, if you guys keep elevating, like the people that are meant to be around you, if they want to do the work and stay in your energy field and stay in your circle of protection and on your path, they have to do work too. But eventually, you know, that energy is going to push and pull until it breaks, right? So you guys are just breaking away from past energies, patterns, people. And this can also be like in your DNA and ancestrally and all these type of things. And like I said, there's a lot of guys out there who are super aware of what's happening and what you're doing, and that could be torture within itself, like, because I do feel like being very aware of everything going on is a blessing and a curse. So for my people out there who do have that gift, which is actually a lot of you guys, and if not all of you, when I tell you this is going on, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. But again, there are my people out there which I feel like are more meant to be like in the world, or you're more called to be in certain spaces that are pretty rough and tough, or your life is very on the go, that maybe you don't have the luxury to kind of slow down and process every spiritual thing that's happening to you. You just know something spiritual is happening, but you know, God's calling you here, God's calling you there, you know, and that's where you're meant to be going. And you know, there's a certain group by collective that can't slow down, but you are being forced to take risks here or there. But then there's a certain group of my collective that consciously have taken time out for yourself to do this transformation. But I think that it's all happening like the way that it's meant to, depending on your path. And again, there's not one path that's better than the other. I actually feel like, you know, my light workers, my healers, every single one of your paths are different. Like, you know, and I do sense that like every single one of them are important. And then God places you where you're needed, and your gifts are also different depending on who you are and what God has brought you here to do. And another thing I want to say is that now that you guys are releasing these energies, you're going to really start to remember yourself, because sometimes these energies create confusion in our energy field. They create a fog. They create us doubting ourselves, questioning ourselves, because again, some of these people that latch onto us, it's not even really bad intention. It's actually just the fact that they don't have a purpose for themselves, or they're lost and they're scared and they latch onto you. But then you start picking up their fear and their confusion. And like I always tell you guys, your path here is to help people find their own path in their own way, not for people to latch onto you and just drain you. Like, God is not sending you guys here to be anybody's savior. You're here to be a teacher, a mentor, and a leader, and an example. So if that means isolating yourself and showing people how it's done, that's exactly what you're called to do. And I think a lot of you guys have worked through those feelings of guilt or feeling like you're not doing enough, when it's like you truly are doing so much for people. Like, I really sense for the collective here, you guys live your life in such generosity, and maybe, you know, not always money if you don't have it. Some of you guys who are generous, like, I really appreciate that. Like, some of you guys who do donate, and if you guys do want to donate for the holidays, I'll leave my link below. I really do appreciate that. I also have my Black Friday code going on my Patreon, and it really supports what I do here. I like to say that too as well, because a lot of you guys are kind of opening yourselves up to receive in the same way that you have given to others. And maybe you don't even see yourself as a generous person because you genuinely enjoy helping people, whether it's give them advice or spending time with them or being that shoulder to cry on, or giving your time or money because you realize that that's important. And that generosity was never forgotten by God, by your angels. And for some of you guys who are struggling, maybe financially, emotionally, or physically, I really do feel like God and your angels is waiting till you're in that right place to give you guys all those blessings back tenfold. There's been so many times in my life too where I've gone through tough times. You know, just because I'm here, you know, preaching, help you guys, doesn't mean I'm not going through it in certain seasons of my life. But at the same time, I know that if I keep showing up, you know, and keep doing the best I can do, it may not be good enough for a lot of people, but I know that I'm helping the people I need to be helping, and everything's going to work out the way that it's meant to. And I think a lot of you guys know that too deep down, you know, regardless of what you're going through. But what I'm hearing is a clean slate, and just certain people being in energetic turmoil because they can't feel you anymore. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but they can't feel your energy. And even people from the past, like just that little bit of that little chain they had to your energy field, or that little cord they had, that was an access point for them to gain something from you, you know, like, and I feel some guys were unaware of this, but you're just elevating off of these energies. And because it's really not you're not here to just give and give and give to energies that especially are not giving back to you, or act like they don't care you exist, or just are hate watching or monitoring spirits or whatever the heck, you know, like. And I do feel there's just an extra layer of protection going in, because I am hearing some of you guys maybe praying, asking God, being like, okay, how am I supposed to take it to the next level, or show up more, or how am I supposed to go and do this next part of my mission, or how am I supposed to do what I'm called to do when I'm feeling horrible right now, or I'm feeling so tired? Give yourself time. And I do feel like anything thing that you feel helps you cleanse and release your energy, now is a really good time. Some of the less common ways to release energy is surprisingly like working out and doing some energy releases. I know a lot of you guys too have fallen into depression. I actually talked about this in one of my December messages on Patreon if you guys want to check it out. But I was talking about how some of you guys are meant to be firecrackers and leaders, and when that passion is, or the way you were mistreated, it has kind of turned to anger, and people try to repress that fire in you, that justice speaking, that real raw version of you. Some of you guys have turned the energy inward and have gotten down or depressed. So some of you guys are releasing some of this energy that people have projected onto you. And some of you guys, like, you feel hatred or resentment towards certain people or circumstances, but in reality, you're actually feeling those people's energy towards you. And that's why when you keep cord cutting and cleansing, focusing on what you could do in the here and now and what it is, you know, that you want to do in the future. I won't even say that, because I do feel a lot of you are a little bit uncertain or even scared about the future, because you could be feeling like you're in a phase right now of complete, like almost like, I want to say it's almost going to be like peace, but it doesn't feel like peace when you're used to all these weird energies around you. It's almost like emptiness, but it's not emptiness. It's actually a lot of space you're creating for the new to come in, and then you're going to get that direction or get that next step or get that miracle or get that blessing that you've been praying for. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of praying, guys. You know, I've gotten sick a few times in the past month, lost my voice like 5 times this year. Like, it hasn't been the easiest year for me, but I kind of dedicated this year to resting and just doing what was best for me, regardless of like how I feel or how good of a job, you know, I feel like I'm doing it. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves, but you know, we can't always perform very highly all the time. There's certain aspects or energies in our life that could need our time or energy. And I think a lot of you guys spent time and energy this year, like planting seeds in different areas of your life that needed it. Maybe not your main focus or what you wanted to be doing, but it was what you were called to be doing or what you were forced to be doing. And if it was like your health or your mental health, like, this is one of the most important years of your life. Like, I do feel that. Like, for those that feel like you haven't done a good job, you're gonna look back at this and be like, that was one of the most important years for realigning myself, reevaluating myself, cleansing myself. If I didn't go through what I went through, or if I didn't experience what I experienced, I would not be as successful as I am today. So you're gonna thank God for whatever the heck has happened to you guys. I know that sounds crazy, but you're gonna be like, oh my God, thank you, I needed that. So yeah, I'm channeling so fast today. A lot of you guys know, like, I don't really even need the cards, but a lot of you out there really enjoyed the visuals. But I also know there's a good amount of you guys that don't even really watch the video, but you actually just like listen to it while you're working out or while you're driving or while you're doing this or that. So yeah, that I'm fully aware of. But again, I'll pull some cards for you guys. I like to remind you guys too, I did have my Oracle deck shop, but I'm selling out all my decks just because, you know, I'm focusing on other ventures and just putting my energy into just like resting really and new things. But all my decks here are discounted mystery boxes. So, you know, if you guys wanted to, you can give a Christmas gift to yourself or someone else or whatever. So yeah, the decks you guys see me using today are going to be in there. Okay. So links below. All right, let's see. We got news and messages. Okay. Things are coming in, guys. Like, they truly are. But the interesting thing is that I feel there's a surrender happening in your energy field. Like, I feel that a lot of you want so many things to go a certain way, and you have to release control, and you've been through so much, and you know what? I'm just going to surrender, and I don't really care if this thing happens and not. I trust God's plan, and boom, that's when the blessing happens. Like, that's where I see where you guys are at. Interesting enough. And not only that, that kind of goes for the message I said before, because some of you guys, like, some of these people and situations you thought you wanted back in your life, or you thought that they were great for you, you might see these people return. And I'm going to look into that a little bit, because I do feel like there's a message coming in about a past person. And I know a lot of you guys don't care about that, but the truth is that I mention it to show you guys how much you've grown and explain to you what you're experiencing, so that you can be your best you in the present. Like, a lot of you guys ask me like about the future or predictions, but I'm not too fond of that type of those type of messages anymore, because what I've been called to speak on is like that sometimes we really don't give enough power to our free will and other people's free will too. Like, we have to give people space to choose for themselves. But not only that, like, you guys have so much power in the present to be who you want and go where you want. And that's not to make you feel afraid that God is not guiding you, but it's also like, basically you get the choice to decide what you spend your time and energy on, which is actually a beautiful thing. So the reason why we talk about the past is not to focus on it, but it's to show you, like, look how much you've grown and evolved with your own choices, and be proud of yourself. Because I do believe we have certain timelines and certain things that could happen in our life. And, my collective here, you guys are pretty good at choosing the best possible timeline for yourself, even though it may not feel like it, because you could be going through the hardships of the changes that you're making within yourself. But you're going to see that, things work out for you, and they always do. Let's see what else we have going on here. We got message. Okay. Fear. Okay. I do feel that there's going to be some good luck coming into your guys' lives, which I'm pretty happy about. Again, you guys definitely did cut off energies or removed energies. And I do feel for some of you, it wasn't your choice. Like, it just happened and you're like, whoa, but I do feel this was for you, not to you, especially those people who are like, you don't really understand what's going on in your life, but you just ask God, your angels, hey, I surrender, or whatever it is that is not for me, remove it, which is a really brave thing to do. Like, you guys don't understand, like, the reason why you are on the highest level timelines and the best possible outcomes for yourself is because of your ability to surrender to God, angels, and to your purpose. A lot of people fight that. They know that they have to let go of this habit or this person or this circumstance, but they're so afraid to do it. If anything, in my collective, you guys are doing more than enough, and it's almost like certain seasons, God has called for you guys to enjoy what you have, spend time with your family, have fun, and you're just like, okay, God, what do you need me to do next? Like, sometimes some of you guys feel bad and guilty enjoying your life and enjoying the life you built for yourself. And again, a lot of that has been imposed onto you because of past people. Actually, I was reading the Bible, interesting enough, and I love like this part, but like they were criticizing Jesus. They were calling him like, like a drunkard or like a gluttonous, because he would always like to enjoy food and drink with the people that he was basically being an evangelist to, like trying to speak about, God and all the great things in life. So some of you guys, like, you're allowed to enjoy your life and have a good time while discussing positive things or whatever it is you're bringing into the world. I know some of you guys don't actually preach, but it's like you bring that spiritual energy into everything you do. And some people may not like the fact that you're enjoying yourself or want you to suffer, but there is such a beautiful thing surrounding like community and family and food and appreciation and all the good stuff life has to offer. And it's not gluttony when it's something that is done with gratitude and appreciation and with good intention. And the reason why I say this is because there is a lot of emphasis, especially in spirituality, on like the sacrifices and the hardships, and also like just, even like the fasting and the just being hard on yourself and, asking God, what do I need to do? I'm willing to give up whatever. But I know my collective is willing to discipline yourself and give up whatever and whoever for the path. And I do feel like maybe the part of you guys that's missing is, reconnecting to yourself, your inner child, like who you really are and what brings you joy. And that is actually what God is going to use to bring other people joy through you. So the things that you guys enjoy doing, I feel like you guys tend to share that with other people and bring joy into other people's lives. So don't be down on yourself for enjoying yourself. These are things that other people imposed onto you because of the fact that they were jealous, right? Because like if they could say that about, Jesus, then they could say that about anyone, really, right? You know what I mean? If Jesus got criticized, then anyone's gonna get criticized. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't let these people, it doesn't even matter if you don't enjoy those things. What matters is like what you like to do is inherently you, and what makes you you is how God made you. And to not honor the way God made you is to basically tell God that, like, hey, I don't think that I should be like this, even though you made me like this, right? So some of the things that people have criticized about you guys, and this is the same thing going back to what I said on the Patreon message too, I think it was number 4, about some of you guys having fire and passion. Like, you feel bad and guilty standing up for yourself or being that fiery, passionate person when your intentions are good or you're speaking out about things that matter, but other people impose that shame onto you, or other people impose these energies onto you that make you feel like you can't go on, or you need to change. And the reality is that you need to probably lean more into who you really are. And that's the T. And the reason why I'm talking about past energies in relation to this energy is because some of your guys' biggest criticisms, like, you could almost hear the chitter chatter. That's how intuitive a lot of you guys are. Like, you know what people are saying about you, and you want what they're saying about you to not be true. But so what if it is? Like, I always say this, but if you know what you are, people can't use that against you, and everybody has flaws. And I do feel like you guys are being called to lean into your best qualities and not focus so much on your flaws too. Nobody is perfect. And what I do know is that you guys are consciously working every single day to be the best version of yourself. And not a lot of people can say that. A lot of people are sitting around gossiping, being negative, abusing, and that's just not my collective out there. And that's like my little reminder to you guys to, enjoy what you have, share what you have, like, whatever your gifts are, like, don't let people shame you out of it. And people may not like the context or how you're doing it, but God is using you in a unique way. And that is the truth. And yeah. And I love the fact we all get together and relate to these type of things, even though we may be living totally different lifestyles. A lot of you guys out there, different cultures, different religions, it doesn't really matter. In my eyes, it matters the type of person you are and the good you're doing onto the world. And not only that, you are who you are for a reason. So we got past life here. Yeah. For those that believe in past lives, like, there's a lot of lessons here that you guys have already learned. So some of this heaviness that you guys are releasing right now is other people trying to put their karma on you. And you guys deserve to sit at a table and enjoy the fruits of your labor. And I feel that just so many people that want to rob you of that joy and excitement that you should have within yourself for how far you've come. So again, these are just people that are probably upset that you are happier without them, living without them. They want a piece of what you got, even though you've already given them more than enough, and so on and so forth. And some of you guys, like, you are releasing some past life karma where, you were bound or chained by society or what people expected you to be. And you're being called to shine in the way that you want to shine. And this is like a very important lifetime for you guys to do that. And I know it could be very difficult because you may feel like the world is against you or so many energies are against you, but there is so much love and support and appreciation. And I think that you guys should know that. The reason why the opposition is so loud is because when people love you, they genuinely love you. And you guys got the quality, not quantity, not always, numbers in the way that you may want, whether it's financial or people or popularity, but it's like in the amount that mattered. Yeah, so yeah, it's just a lot of messages here about you guys doing a great job and how certain people from the past are just mad about it. You guys are sensing it, and I know a lot of you guys are tired of hearing about it. I know I am, but the reason why I bring it up is only because you guys need to know, you need to be reminded that some of this heaviness, this energy isn't your own. Like, I do feel that you guys have done the work, and you got a criticism here of certain people that say maybe you changed or maybe you're cold. A certain group of people, you have had people try to convince you haven't changed and you're the same way you've always been, but you know for a fact that you aren't. Like, I feel that there are people that try to compliment you saying you changed. There's going to be people that diss you saying you changed in a bad way. There's people that will try to diss you, try to say you never changed, and even though you have and you're doing the best you could do. And then there's certain people that will try to trigger the past version of you to try to prove to themselves that you're still the same old person you used to be when you're not. And by the way, there was nothing wrong with the way you were in the first place. And I think I want to let you guys know that, because there's just something here about the next step is you guys just really just loving yourself and stop being so hard on yourself and just taking that next step. You guys have definitely given so much and loved so much and helped so many people that probably were suffering worse. I mean, not as much as you at certain points, but they wanted to, like, the thing I want to say is that you're like, some of you guys are not happy to hear that like past people are suffering, because you'd rather them be happy and leave you alone or whatever. But the reason why I'm saying this is because basically everybody has to go through certain challenges in their life, and there is some suffering that is kind of preventable because the suffering is more of the ego. And I do feel that, again, like, because of you guys being so powerful and so gifted and just having this ability to walk away and move forward, that people are kind of jealous of this faith. You guys have faith that that's really what sets you apart from certain people, because you guys don't know if you walk away or take a risk it's going to work out. But what you do know is that you have faith that it's going to be better than the circumstances that you're in. But so many people never take that first step, out of their parents' criticism or towards their dreams, or even into spirituality because they're scared, or to self-discovery, because there is a painfulness in an ego death, especially for people that are so like attached to their mask or their ego. But I do know a lot of you guys go through the pain and suffering of these transformations, but it's not as hard for a lot of you guys to let go of the fact that maybe you were wrong about something, or you're learning or growing. You embrace these changes. But the one thing I have to say is that your suffering could be a lot worse than these people's ego suffering. It's because of the evil or the horribleness that people have implanted onto you, because they are jealous or envious of the fact that you are able to move on from things. So yes, you go through the same things these people go through, but then they actually make your situation worse, but then God blesses you. So it's like you want to prove to these people that, you know, or in the past, you want to prove to a past person that you were suffering too, and you shared that with them, but that actually made them more angry, because that's a testament to the things that you are saying are true, that you have gone through these things and you found a way out of it. You have to understand that certain people don't want to change. They want to play victim. They love the role that they play because it makes them not, it makes it easy for them to not do the work. And that's basically as much I have for you guys. Like, there's past people and it's like, you're like, feel bad. Oh, I feel bad for them. Like, you know, they're sad. They miss me. They don't have access to me anymore. They didn't do the work. And that's the problem. And that's why they can't be around you. And that's the truth, you know? So you guys, if you do have these type of relationships with certain people where, you know, the soul ties need to get broken because there's no change, just know that you're going to enter a new realm where you're going to meet new people, better people. Get excited for that. Wow. Yeah, I just see blessing after blessing after blessing, because you guys went through the storm of walking away from certain people and circumstances. Another thing I do want to say to you guys, and another part of this message that wanted to come through that I channeled, was that there are people that are, like, some of you guys could be kind of randomly overran with like anxiety or fear. There are certain people right now that are actually fearing you because they're basically living in guilt and fear about the things that they've done to you. And the interesting thing is that a lot of you guys may have stood up for yourself and left, but you didn't retaliate, you didn't chase, because your ego is not kind of ingrained in these certain people. Yes, you could think back and be haunted or upset by the certain things that people have done, but you're not going to let that stop you. Even if it has to be a part of you until you release that, you're still keeping it moving, right? But I do feel like there's certain people, they're anxious and nervous because they almost fear you retaliating them or exposing them. There's a particular person coming in here that thinks that you guys may want to expose them, but the truth is that you don't care to. You don't care to. And if you've done it and moved on from it, you're moved on from it. Like, you're not the type of person to basically, if someone is already getting their karma, you're not the type to turn around and run them over with the car again. You know, if they got the foot already run over, you're not going to turn around and run over the other foot, right? So it's like, you already know that if somebody had done something against you, they were suffering and they're going to get what's coming to them. And there's a peace that you guys have that make people very anxious and scared, because it's like, why are you so at peace? What do you know that I don't? What did you do to me now? Like, why are you at? They are so like lost in their brain that they think that like the only way they can get peace is to somehow destroy you or one up you or, you know, whatever. But the truth is that the peace comes from within, especially if you've done everything in your power to try to help or fix or change or compromise or heal, right? And that's basically it. Like, there is a certain energy of somebody here who he was living in fear of you exposing or retaliating them because they probably did something to you. Only hurt will come of this. When the reality is, yeah, it could be someone who tried to steal from you guys, or somebody that you called out on something and they're afraid you're going to tell on them. They are dishonest. They respect you. Interesting. They want to get closer to you. They are competitive. They play victim. There's a fake person around them. They have personal issues. Okay. They think you're intelligent. They are petty. I'm getting a storyline here too of some of you guys maybe being in proximity or around somebody who basically you have this knowledge or this ability to expose somebody or tell on somebody, or yeah, and you guys are not doing that, and for whatever reason it's making this person more anxious and fearful because they basically live in fear of you guys calling them out. Like, that's the interesting thing that I want to say. You guys have taken your power back just based upon the fact that you are aware of some of the horrible things that maybe somebody or a group of people or a certain person has done to you, and instead of like retaliating back or falling into their trap, you kind of just kept this information to yourself and kept it moving. And I see that someone is aware that you have information about them, or they think they do, and you guys have no idea what this is about, but they feel like you're going to just pop out and ruin them. And the truth is that none of you guys are going to do that. Like, you don't care to do that, and that's not your character. So, yeah, that's what I'm picking up on. Interesting enough. Yeah, Nine of Cups in reverse. the devil in reverse. And yeah, there really is none of that energy here. They're just you guys being like, yeah, no, this is messy. I peep it, I'm moving away from it, and this has nothing to do with me, right? That's, yeah. I want to say as well that there could be a situation where maybe someone did do something wrong and you did call them out or expose them or tell on them, and then you moved on with your life. Like, you didn't have a bad intention with it. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because so many people want to believe that when you tell them the truth about something, like say this is like an ex or a friend where you put them on to the fact that somebody wasn't good for them, or maybe you had somebody that was involved with somebody else and you told that person, but they were convinced that you just did it because you wanted their purse, whatever. You guys get what I'm saying? There's situations where people want to believe that you had bad intentions speaking your truth. But the thing is that people are coming to see in a lot of these situations where you spoke your truth, what did you have to gain? Because you didn't come back and try to get anything out of it. You just spoke it and left. Like, that's the thing. And people are like, well, if they were just trying to get something that I had, then why did they speak it and then they leave? There's a situation here where you guys spoke your truth and left, and it's got everybody very fearful. And I have no idea why, but I think it's just their own guilt eating them alive. Of like the fact, or for some of you guys, like there's somebody who has this guilt eating them alive because they didn't want to believe you and they put you down or hurt you because you told them the truth about something. And why is there a fear here though? The fear is, okay. Especially for those situations where the person really wants you in their life now, like, because they realize the truth or whatever. It's like there's a fear here of you guys rejecting them, and the retaliation that some of you guys have and the power you have in some of these situations is, yes, what I was saying in the beginning half of this, especially if you have information on somebody, this and that I think none of you guys are going to use, but you just like, maybe you just peep certain things or whatever. Some of you guys are in some kind of position where you can invoke justice, but I always feel like you guys are very merciful and kind, but it's that these people feel that basically they know that they deserve the worst because of what they've done to you, that they fear what you're gonna do. Basically, it's more out of their guilt that they fear your next move. And there's another situation here where I feel like there are certain people that didn't believe you or didn't want to understand what you were telling them because they thought maybe you had alternative motives, or they had other people be fake to them and convince them otherwise. And now their fear is that they lost you forever because there has been such a coldness in your guys' energies because of this one betrayal or a few. Some of you guys, I know my collective, you've been through many betrayals, and you have come to this coldness that you are in right now. And it's not coldness, it's actually just indifference and acceptance of who that person is, right? So it's like you just now see them as that, and that really bothers them, that you see their truth. You saw that they were fooled, and you saw they didn't have your back, right? And they are living in fear of the truth that you know about them. Is that crazy? But does that make sense? Because it's almost like you guys are having this power here because you were right, and there's nothing anyone could say or do to convince you otherwise. And not that you guys care about this, but these low vibrational people do, right? And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm picking up on. There's somebody here living in fear that you're going to expose them or speak the truth, but I think you already have, and they just don't want to hear it again. And I think for some of you, this could be an energy that wants to come back into your life, but they know that you're going to tell them something that they don't want to hear. Yeah, but I do feel like you guys are coming out of Hermit, but I do feel somebody here could be coming out of Hermit to communicate something to you. And this is probably one of those people that realize they've lost access to you. But I see them sitting down and thinking to themselves, like, damn, I messed up. Like, this person was right. They were the truth, A lot of people's faults are going to come from comparing themselves to you, because the truth is that, like, there's no comparison, and not in a way where it's like, oh, you're better than them. There's no comparison, but, maybe in some cases if they're comparing themselves to something you do well, but it's more like there's no comparison. Maybe there's no comparison. This is a marathon. Like, you guys can live your life very much like consistently and like slow and steady wins the race. But what I'm also hearing is that there's no comparison because your life path is uniquely your own. I think you guys we're trying to explain that to certain people. Like, like what you go through is also your own, and a lot of people don't understand what you've gone through. So when people start to see and experience the things that you were trying to explain to them after the fact, there's a fear and a hurt and upset energy because they've come to this reality that somebody they really do love and respect has lost respect for them. And I believe that you guys have cut a cord in your life because of something someone did or said, and instead of retaliating or getting angry at them, you kind of just went silent and lost respect for them, and they felt it. They felt that energy shift like crazy enough, because people can be so latched onto your energy. And not only that, you guys do have spiritual gifts, so a lot of your soulmates and a lot of your past lives, like soul, if you believe in it, souls travel in groups, and if not, it doesn't matter. Like, your energy itself is psychic and aware, and it can also make people that way too. And I think a lot of you guys soulmates do have spiritual gifts, and some of it manifest in not the best ways. But what I'm seeing is here is somebody has seen you detach and lose respect for them. And they saw in your eyes last time they saw you, or they felt it in the last conversation that you had with them. And this is where the real fear is setting in, because they realize that, because they could kind of clearly see, they can clearly see now the way you're viewing them. Does that make sense? There's some clarity they got, and it's almost like they get to see, or they had to see, or God made them see themselves and what they did through your perspective. Maybe it's through dreams, maybe it's through realization, but they're basically as a soulmate here, or someone from your past, having this reality check that they didn't act the best towards you, and you saw everything. There was nothing that you didn't see. And you could have told them, like, I know, I see, but they didn't believe you. But there's something going on here that made somebody realize, whether it was a truth that came out or something here, that you see everything. Get the Seven of Swords in reverse. You saw something or heard something, or you know something, or they're afraid that you do, because some of you guys, certain people just living out of their guilt of the things they've said and done to you, knowing damn well you didn't deserve it. So again, a lot of people are upset they lost access to you. Certain people acted out or did horrible things on the way out just to try to get your attention or try to bring you down a notch. Didn't work. You guys are on the road to success here. You're doing a great job, and you're in this new level of stability and success. Even if you don't feel it yet, it's in your energy field and it's coming in. So just be excited about that. You may not be at where you want to be at, but spiritually speaking, you're already on that next level, that new chapter. And now this is where the blessings come. The past energies can come knocking on the door, but I just feel a lot of you guys, they will know and feel and sense that things will never be the same as they were before. And not only that, they can never get to you or hurt you in the same way, because you already see them for who they are. And it was like you were that person that always believed that someone could be better, someone could change. But there's an acceptance here that has gone on in a certain situation with somebody where you're like, yeah, no, I see it for what it is. I see the choices you made. I'm not happy with it, but that's your bed. You got to lay in it, okay? So I kind of see this energy coming through, and I love it for you guys, because this is healing you guys, because you guys are such fixers. And one thing I was talking about too, and I mentioned to my Patreon, that you sometimes saw a failed relationship as a failure, but now you're seeing as getting rid of somebody that is not dedicated to making the relationship work. That's actually the success that you're going to have. Like, the success is coming from letting go of the person that is contributing to the relationship failing and making that choice. That is actually making you win. And you guys are realizing how to let go of something that you can't fix or change or help, or a situation that you could see the writing on the walls and the house is on fire, but people just want to stand there and point fingers at you, even though you're trying to help save them. No more of these situations, because there's going to be so many people that are going to help you put out that fire, or notice that fire first and help you out and be those people for you. So believe that, guys. This is the end of the chapter of you guys basically being made to feel like you aren't good enough or that you're crazy. And especially with this particular situation with somebody here, they're going through karma where they are seeing exactly what they did and exactly how they were wrong, and basically how they punished you and hurt you for things that were out of your control and things that they were unhappy with within themselves. And that's gonna, manifest a lot differently depending on your guys' situation. But I do feel like somebody here, wants to reach out to you guys, or will reach out to you guys. But I do see a lot of people not reaching out because they know this to be true. Some of you guys are wondering why someone didn't reach out, and just move forward because they already know that you're gonna let them have it. But for some of you guys out there, I do see a particular energy reaching out to you guys. Let me see. There's a few energies here. I do believe people that know that they can't use or manipulate and have no reason to want to change the way they are. Like, I don't see those types of people reaching out, right? But I do see a situation maybe where somebody was manipulated or brought into the darkness or chose it because it was easier for them to hate you than to acknowledge certain things about people maybe they loved or cared about, or where they grew up or influenced, whatever, right? Tells all this time. I could, talk you guys' ears off about that type of stuff, as you guys know. But somebody is just realizing that you were never that obstacle, that something or someone else created an obstacle here between you guys and ended their relationship with you. So someone could be freeing themselves of some kind of obstacle, or having some sort of realization here, growing. And but now they realize, like, on the other side of this growth, that you're too far away from them to reach. Like, they already did the damage. You understand? Like, it's like there's someone that's coming out of this, and their spiritual awareness is making them realize that they have no business even coming to you or bothering you, in a sense. Interesting enough. Sometimes the best thing you could do if you love somebody is to leave them alone. And I think that somebody here also in your energy field has decided that that was the best choice based upon the circumstances and what they've done. But okay. I do see somebody coming around and talking to you, though, about this or something that has gone on here. 9 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. Okay. Whoever this individual is, I don't see you guys really being open and receptive to them. But, you know, if you want to hear them out, hear them out. Again, this reading is timeless, but it is Mercury retrograde. And, you know, I do believe you guys are in an empowered state right now. I do believe that you have the choice to choose for yourself what you want to do here. Some of you guys, you do have to coexist with whoever this is, whether it's a family member or it's like someone you're co-parenting with. But you will see because you elevated, you're going to see a shift in somebody's energy, but you are also going to shift too, and not caring as much, but them caring more about making things right with you. Interesting enough. And I do believe that that's kind of like the karma here too. Yeah, somebody definitely is going to try to reach out to you guys, basically. That's what I'm seeing here. Or is thinking about it and you're feeling it. Some of you guys get those waves of anxiety, fear, depression. That is that person's energy, basically. And yeah, for a lot of you guys, especially when these people come into spiritual awareness, they realize that they've done something wrong to you, and it's going to affect them negatively until they correct that or make it right. So I do see wherever this person is, somebody is going to impulsively reach out to you and may actually show you some kindness, and you guys will be very much skeptical of this, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here. But this is a last-ditch attempt to be back in your life, and a lot of you just don't want to reattach that cord because of the disappointments, you know, or and I don't ever think you guys really will reattach it in that way, but because you've grown so much. But there is someone who does want to be back in your life or closer to you, because they realize a life without you is just not worth living for them, because of the greatness you guys brought into this person's life, regardless of like how they wanted to treat you in the past. You guys are a gem here. This could be someone that, yeah, basically feels like their life just has been so mundane and horrible since their situation with you ended. But your abrupt coldness and ability to cut them off and say what it is, that, and then not go back for revenge. Like, you didn't even, like, you could have had more dirt to this person when they hurt you, but you didn't. You just moved on. You could have done so much damage on the way out, but you chose not to. And that's what eats them alive more, that you didn't meet them with revenge or a fight or nothing. You left with that one, which really shows that you just wanted nothing to do with them, which made them really feel like nothing, because you didn't even see them as an equal enough to be an enemy or a problem. You just saw them as someone that it was just time to walk away from, and that they didn't have any power over you at all, basically. Yeah. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. I do hope you guys like that message. You got so many great things coming in here. I do feel like somebody interesting is going to be reaching out to you to try to make amends with you, basically. They want to try to get closer to you again. And this person secretly still very, very much admires you. And yeah, I just feel a lot of you guys are just like so excited for the new people coming in and a new situation that could be already happening, that you don't really care about that. But that's what I'm seeing, some kind of apology here that maybe you guys don't really see coming. But again, when your energy is shifting and growing, you may be surprised who is sensing this. And you guys are aware enough to know the difference between somebody who's coming with good intentions or not. I believe there is energy here coming with good intentions to try to fix or make amends, but it's up to you guys what you would want to do here, because for certain people, like, you could just choose it's not enough because of what had happened, that you don't want to trust them or let them back in again. Doesn't mean you can't forgive, have a conversation about it, and let go, right? So I hope you guys like that message. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I want you guys to comment below. I am entering that next level, and I'm super excited about it. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye.